Okay. I'm not even sure I'm going to do this all night. I figured I'm see if anyone's on and awake. I'll give it 5 minutes. You're all alone. If you have a question, ask me. I'm going to be on for a short one tonight because I didn't announce it or club it. I was just kind of bored. The last session, there was like no questions. Hey, Brillados. It is Brillados, I'm sure. Okay. Fair enough. That's a good question. So you want to know how long it takes to take for the top off. Are you taking the top off 7 or top off 6? So let's say it's a top off 7. I think, okay, the 7 and then the 66. No, hopefully you're going to get this. So the top off 7 probably should be, depending on how much you can study, probably 3 to 4 weeks. Should be a fair bet. And then the same for the 66. Just remember that the 66 is a son of a bitch of a test. It's a hard one. So I would say if you do 3 weeks, 3 to 4 weeks of good studying, couple hours a day, you should be fine. How did you feel the SIE was? Did you feel it was challenging, or was it kind of like you had it the whole way? I have some people that come in here and they go, I owned it the whole way, and some people feel like they had a tough time. So I'm going to try something. SIE exam. I don't know how to show my screen, but what I am going to do is, oh, the practice test. That's what I want to see. Where is it? I thought I overstudied a bit, but that's okay. It was Kaplan, which I thought prepared me well, but wording was a little different. You're right. That's the kind of the problem that Kaplan, some of the Kaplan questions. Yeah, I know they don't tell you the exact score. Some of the Kaplan questions are a little harder than the actual exam. So Kaplan's good in that way, but then they kind of scare you. And then a lot of people come out with they go, it was the wording that did it. That was always the problem. Okay. I agree. So I wish they told you the score. Yeah, they stopped doing that. I think I call them like once a week and try to get them to move it. Try to at least show the score for the SIE. I get it, not for the other ones, but at least for the SIE, so you know where you're standing. Anna, you're taking it Monday. Okay. Can you go over ETFs or ETNs? Okay. For this exam, I'll explain it. It's not so bad. So, yeah, if you know what the 10 questions are, it'd be great, but it doesn't matter. Look, a pass is a pass, right? So ETFs versus ETNs. So first of all, remember, ETFs are an equity security. So what they do is they're taking I think I threw it out. But it's basically they take a bunch of securities and put it in a basket, and then this basket is listed on the exchange. And you buy shares of the basket, not the specific shares. So the ETF, it's passively managed. They buy it. They buy all these shares, like say it's all gamer stocks or all pot stocks or even the whole S&P 500 or something like that. They put it in this basket. Then they seal up the top, and then you buy shares of this, or it's traded on the exchange. They do not trade, okay? They do not trade at all. Hey, Brillados, thanks. Yeah, feel free to reach out to me. I'm happy to help. I'm just trying to give back a little bit. Okay, so now, sorry to be like my ADD kicking in. So I'm owning shares in here. If I want to buy this, I buy shares of the ETF. and they passively trade it. So they are not actively trading like a mutual fund, buying and selling. They basically rebalance at the end of every quarter. So every quarter they looked and say, oh, it's Apple and IBM and a bunch of stocks in here. But if one of them is like really high or really low, they'll sell or buy it to bring everything back to what it was. So say everything was 2% of the fund. If one of the shares in this fund goes up a lot, it may equate to like 4 or 5%. So they'll rebalance the shares to bring everything back to 2%. And that's all the ETF does. Every quarter, they'll rebalance it. Now, on ETN, it's totally different. It does trade on an exchange, but it's debt. The biggest risk on an ETN, and this will be the question, the biggest risk on an ETN is credit risk. So the credit quality of the issuer determines the value of the ETN. But what they do is they don't actually own the shares. As far as this goes, they don't own the shares. What they do is they go, oh, lend me $1,000, and in 10 or 15 or 5 or 20 years, I'll pay you back your $1,000 plus or minus whatever the index is up. So let's say the index we're going to match is the S&P 100, just as a thing, or some equity. But let's say it's the S&P 100. You give me $1,000. Then in 5 years, whatever the S&P 500 is up or down in that time, I will give you your 1,000 plus or minus that money. So say the market was up 15%, you will get your 1,000 plus $150. But let's say the market was down 10%, you'll get $900. So an ETN is not an equity, it's a debt. It does not invest in the actual securities. It just tracks it. So whatever the index that it's tracking goes up or down, that's what you get. Okay? So ETF is equity, ETN is debt. ETF and ETNs both trade on the exchanges. ETFs and ETNs are somewhat liquid because they trade on an exchange. And you like I bought them, you can buy them as far as you're concerned, buying and selling them on the exchange, there's not a big difference because they do trade. Okay. Since I don't have a question, so I'm going to ask, I have one I just took from the SIE. Awesome, thanks. A broker-dealer is permitted to accept payment for a new issue from a new customer when the blank. A broker-dealer is permitted to accept payment for a new issue from a customer when. And the choices are A, registration is effective. B, red herring is delivered. C, preliminary prospectus is amended. And D, transaction takes place during the cooling off period. So again, broker-dealer is permitted to accept payment for a new issue from a new customer when. Okay, so let's start from the bottom. Transaction takes place during the cooling off period. Boom, no, we can't do that. So when you issue shares, you file the S1 or the registration statement. That starts a 20-day cooling off period, which means you can't sell the shares during that time. You can send out a red herring, a preliminary prospectus, but you can only take indications of interest, no transactions. So D is out. C, preliminary prospectus is amended. Well, that is true. You can amend it there, but that is not when you can take money. So based on before, red herring and preliminary prospectus, B and C, are out because those are just things that happen during the 20-day cooling off period. So the only time that you can accept payment or an order for shares is once the registration is effective. They never say approve, it'll be effective. So that's question number 1. Let's see what else we got. Okay, so call protection. I'm just doing random stuff here to fill up time. Call protection is most valuable to a bond owner when bond prices are generally. Okay, so call protection prevents the issuer from calling back the bond, from buying it back from you at a predetermined price. When would an issuer do that? So if I'm an issuer and I'm paying 8% a year and interest rates go to 10, I'm good. I'm staying. I'm only paying 8. Everyone else is paying 10. I'm a happy camper. But if I'm paying 8 and rates drop to 5, I'm jealous. I don't want to pay 5. But I'm locked in. I got to pay the 8. So what I will do is if interest rates fall, I will issue a new bond to new people at a lower rate, take that money and boom, and buy your bond back. That's being called. So that's not good. So interest rates drop. You're happy. You're getting your 8%. All of a sudden, you get a knock on the door, and the issuer is going, here's the money for your bond. I'm calling it back to me, and now you're not getting that money anymore. And the only thing available is this lower rate. So call protection is most valuable to a bond owner when bond prices are generally rising. It sounds like it'd be falling, but it's when rates are falling, bond prices are rising. This is a tricky question. So when bond prices are rising, call protection is very valuable. So I'm going to click that. Good stuff. I won't do the whole exam. Maybe one day I will. To offer its shareholders a privilege to obtain its shares at a fixed price, which of the following products does a corporation issue? So basically, if I'm the issuer, I'm going to offer my shareholders the right to buy shares at a fixed price. Which of the following products does a corporation issue? So basically, I'm putting it in English. I'm a company. I'm issuing new shares. I want to give all the existing shareholders the ability to buy shares. Is it a put? No. Puts are the right to sell. Out. Gone. Is it preferred stock? No. Preferred stock is stock that gets you close. Preferred stock is stock that pays you a fixed dividend. Futures. No, futures are not it. Futures are the right to buy or sell a commodity. B, rights. Rights is the answer here. Rights are the ability they issue. By the way, Mike, you would have been right, but it wasn't a choice here. So to offer shareholders the right to buy stock at a fixed price is rights. When I issue new shares, I'm going to give the current shareholders the ability to buy shares at a price below the last sale. Now, Mike, you mentioned warrants. That is absolutely a correct answer in some way. Warrants companies issue to make a bond more attractive. So if I issue a bond and nobody wants to buy it, I'll go, oh, how about I also let you buy stock in the company at a later date? So I will issue a warrant. A warrant is a long-term right to buy stock that I attach to a bond to sweeten it, make it look nicer. A right is the ability to buy stock at a discount for a very short time to maintain your percentage ownership. You're just trying to maintain your ownership. So you don't get diluted. So I'll do this real quick. You own 100,000 shares. There's 1 million shares outstanding. I decide to issue another 1 million shares, which would dilute you down to a 5% owner because you still own 100,000 shares, but it's out of 2 million now. So I will give you the ability to buy another 100,000 shares to keep you at the same ownership percentage. That's called a rights offering or preemptive rights. I'm going to pick rights. I'm going to do one more. When a broker-dealer charges a commission on a securities transaction, it is acted as, when a broker-dealer charges a commission on a securities transaction, it is acted as A, an agent, B, a principal, C, an underwriter, D, a market maker. Jeopardy. When a broker-dealer charges a commission on a securities transaction, is it acted as A, an agent, B, a principal, C, an underwriter, D, a market maker? Anna, I do see an answer. I see 2 people saying yes. There's not even that many people on here. So I'm going to go with, yes, we have it. Everyone has. It's an agent. Awesome. So agent, so remember, ABC, agent, broker, commission. The other one is PDM, principal, dealer, markup. Very proud of you guys. If I am acting as a principal, I am charging a markup. Market makers act as principals. They can do agency sometimes, but for the most part, market makers act as principals and they charge a markup, markdown. Agents, broker, commission. I'm going to pick agent. Okay. That went okay, so I'm going to do one more. Oh, here we go. Which of the following statements is true about all U.S. government agency issues? Now remember, which of the following is true about all U.S. government agency issues? A, they are exempt from federal taxes. B, they are exempt from registration under the Act of 33. C, they are issued in bearer firm only. D, they are general obligations of the federal government. Again, you have to pay attention. Which of the following statements is true about all U.S. government agency securities. Not some, all. Whenever you see the word all, you have to remember this thing, whatever we pick, has to be on every single agency, government agency issue. Not some, not most, not 99%, all of them. So again, are they exempt from federal taxes? Is it exempt from registration? Are they issued in bearer form? Are they general obligations of the federal government? I am going to give you a little hint here. So now, first of all, they're not exempt from taxes, because as far as this test goes, there are only 7 things that don't pay all taxes. Bills, notes, bonds, tips, and strips. Again, bills, notes, bonds, tips, and strips. Mike G, correct. Bills, notes, bonds, tips, and strips are exempt from federal, exempt from state, not federal. Sorry about that. GOs and revenues are exempt from federal, not state, unless you buy it in your own state. So unless it's those 7, bills, notes, bonds, tips, and strips, GOs and revenues, or munis in general, you are paying some sort of taxes. So A is out. Exempt from federal taxes? No, agencies pay them. Let's start with the bottom. They are general obligations of the federal government. They are not. Agencies are not general obligations. They're issued in bearer form. No, they don't do anything in bearer form anymore because money launderers love that stuff. So again, agencies are exempt from registration. Boom. So anything government or agency stuff, it does not have to register under the Act of 33. Boy, that was fun. Let me try one more, just to waste some time. Number 6. A member of the stock exchange responsible for providing liquidity in a security by being willing to buy and sell at all times is known as. Boy, I butchered that. I'm going to read it again because obviously I can't read. A member of a stock exchange responsible for providing liquidity in a security by being willing to buy and sell at all times is known as A, a broker. Nice, Mike. B, an underwriter. C, a market maker. D, a transfer agent. So first of all, no, transfer agents don't do anything. They just hold the list. A broker. Okay, I like it. Everyone got market maker. I'm very happy with that. Okay. So be an underwriter. An underwriter is just, I'm going to make you suffer through my explanation because I got to talk. An underwriter is someone who helps a company go public. A broker does not have the requirement to buy and sell. Everyone got it. I love it. Does not have the requirement to buy and sell all day long. Market makers have to stand there from 9:30 to 4, be willing to buy. How many shares do they have to buy at a time? Here's a question for you. What is the minimum share order size? Did I stump you? Or you're not typing fast enough? So the minimum order size for market makers, they have to be willing to buy shares. How many? Mike has an answer. It may or may not be right. I'm giving other people. Yeah, there we go. What is that called? What is that 100 shares called? Close. A lot. See, I can make a joke on that because it is a lot, but it's not a lot. There's another word there you're missing. It's what my wife calls me when I eat too many pizza. No, it's not a jerk lot. A round lot. Very good. Okay, it's a round lot. Awesome. I love it. Okay. So I'm going to answer that market maker. I'm going to do one more. It's a long one. So a company announces a tender offer to its shareholders with the intent to buy a maximum, you're right, Allie, to buy a maximum of 1 million shares of its outstanding stock at $10 a share and sets no minimum number. So again, a company is going to buy back its shares, at least 1 million, but no minimum. An investor wants to participate in this offer and tenders his 1,000 share position. At the close of the offer period, only 900,000 shares have been tendered. How many, if any, of the investor shares of the company purchased? So trying to trick you a little bit. They're trying to make you seem like maybe you won't be able to buy it. So again, in English, the company wants to buy back shares. Okay? You didn't hear the answer, so here's the thing. So now, company wants to buy back shares. They're willing to buy 1 million. at $10 a share. Then investor tenders his 1,000 share position. At the close, only 900,000 shares have been tendered. How many of the investor shares are the company purchased? They will buy all 1,000 of his shares. The answer, the choices are, I would have saved you, Mike, if you'd waited. The answers are A, 0, B, 100, C, 900, or D, 1,000. Yep, it'll be the 1,000. They'll get the 1,000 because if he's willing to buy 1 million, only 900 wanted. Easy, we can take your 1,000 in our pocket. That's real good. If the next one's short, I'll do it. And it is not. So I'm going to stop right now. But I'm going to tell you right now, what's the most you can? So you can probably find this question. What's the most you can donate to someone's campaign per election? That was easy, huh? Okay. So here's my question for you. What if you have a joint account? Now, if you have a joint account with your lovely spouse, male or female, so you can contribute to 50, but what if you have a joint account and you both sign the account? So you have a joint account and both people sign it. Yes, Mike, it depends on who signs it. If I sign it, it's 250. If my lovely wife signs it, there's no limit. But what if we both sign the check and we both are 50% owners of the account? 500, baby. If you both sign the account, it's each considered for half from each of you. If only one signs the account, then it's all attributed to you. I like it. I think we're solid. Okay. The one who said she was taking it, and I think it's Anna who said, Anna, how's everything going? How are you scoring on your exams? I'm done with questions, by the way, because my voice is going. How are we doing on the exams? If you don't want to publish it in here, we're all family. It's a safety tree. If you don't want to do it, okay. Two people taking the test on Monday. How are we doing? We scoring okay? We still reading? Okay. So good thing is Kaplan, they seem to be a little harder than the actual exam. They're a little more detailed. I'm not saying it's easier. I'm not saying the actual exam's easier because it's all stress level. But Kaplan seems to be a little over diligent, which is fine. I'd rather be more prepared than under prepared. Okay. Okay. How long ago? How long did you get to 71? And I'll come back to you in a second, Mike. So past the FINRA SIE practice exam, you got a 71. That's fine as long as you keep reading the reg stuff. Okay. Okay. Look, just understand, guys. I had one of my students he was taking a test on a Wednesday. This kid, he ended up getting a 68 on the practice exam on Monday. I told him to reread the customer accounts and the regs, like what the registered rep and registered rep can do. And then he said, I don't think I got a whole lot wrong. So make sure you understand that stuff. Okay. Trin, you're talking about on max gain, max loss on options. I assume that's what you're talking about. Understand something. So without a specific problem, it's hard to do. But let's say you buy a call. Max gain, max loss, remember something. It's basically what theoretically the most you can make. So I'm going to help you on this one. If you buy a call, you're bullish. And is there a limit to how high the stock can go? No. So if you buy a call, and I talked about this on one of my other lives, if you buy a call, you have the right to buy stock at 50. Doesn't matter where the stock goes. If it goes up to 80, 90, 100, you still get to buy it at 50. So there's no limit to how much a stock can go up. So you can make an unlimited amount of money on the call. So that's the max gain is unlimited. But let's say the stock drops to like 30. What happens? The option expires. all you lose is the premium. So the max gain is unlimited. The max loss is premium. Now I'm going to tell you there's a little connection here. Whenever you buy an option by itself, the max gain is what you paid. Seriously, the max gain is what you paid. That's the most. Did I just say max gain? It's late. Max gain when you buy an option, we'll come back to. Max loss is just what you paid. Yeah, I'm freaking tired. So max loss when you buy something is the premium, what you paid. Max gain on buying a call is unlimited. Buying a put, you're bearish because you buy a put, you have the right to sell. You want it to go to zero. The most you can make is basically the difference between the strike and zero minus the premium. So it's really the break even. So if you buy a 50 put at 2, you hope the stock goes to zero. So if it does, you can make 50 minus the 2 premium, you make 48. So again, if you buy a call, max gain unlimited, max loss premium. If you buy a put, max gain is 40 is the break even, strike minus premium. Max loss again is just what you paid. Now, when you sell an option, the most you can make is your premium. That's always the case. Whenever you sell an option by itself, the most you can make is the premium. So if you sell a 50 call at 4, the most you can make is 4. If you sell a 50 put at 4, the most you can make is 4 because you want it to expire. If you sell a call, the most you can lose is unlimited because remember, no matter how high the stock goes, if the call is exercised, you have to buy it at that price and then come back and sell it at the strike. So there's no limit to how high the stock can go. Selling a put, it's break even. The max loss is a break even, which is strike minus premium. So if you sell a 50 put at 2 and the stock goes to zero, the put's going to be exercised and you have to buy it at 50. That's your rule. You have to buy it because you sold it. You took the money. And then you're going to turn around and sell it for nothing and lose 50, but you do have $2 in your pocket. So again, buy a call, max gain unlimited, max loss premium. Buy a put, max gain is premium, max losses. Max gain is break even. Max loss is premium. See, it's tired. So again, I bought the options, max loss is premium. When I sell the options, the max gain is always the premium. When I sell a call, max loss is unlimited. When I sell a put, max loss is break even. Wow, wait a second. So if I buy a call, the max gain is one way, and selling a call is the exact opposite. So if I buy a put, the max gain and max loss are one way, and selling a put, max loss is that's the opposite. I'm actually getting super tired. I can't believe it. Okay, so I am going to head out. Alexander, that was good. Trin, I hope that helped a little bit. Again, for the SIE, that's probably more than enough for you. For the top off, maybe it's more. I'm glad I helped. Okay, I am heading out of here. This is actually going to probably be posted soon. Try not to make fun of me too much for my stuttering and my reverse stuff. Hey, you all have a good night, and I'll see you all next Wednesday, hopefully, unless I have a heart attack and die. I'm not going to do it. I will talk to you guys. Make sure you let me know if you passed. Shoot me a message on this live. And Mike, try to call me around probably about noon. That's the best time I can have a quick conversation. I will talk to you all. Good night, everyone.